more.
when when they're gonna blow up the Castle of Lions, and they have to load all their shit on there, and Lance is trying to get the Keltanacker onto his fucking. Then everybody is like seeing after they're all loaded up, and he's sitting there, and there it is, like right by him, just.
I like when they leave it on a moon of Saturn.
Yeah.
In the last season, they're just like,
The mice and the
we're just gonna
Keltanacker,
leave and
okay.
we're gonna take the Galra ship to Earth, and
Yeah.
they just sit there with the mice, and they're just sitting on the moon. Just...
Yeah, where are they at?
Right now,
The mice.
Yeah.
right now they came back because they summoned
I know they summoned the lions, but did we see the mice and the Keltanacker get off?
No, I don't think we saw. No, in the very final moments of the season when kind of like Earth is maybe having like a little flux.
It's done with its current like one oh shit after the other.
Yeah, I think they show up.
Okay.
So, I watched The Meg.
Oh yeah.
The Meg, the big shark movie.
Yep.
How did you like it?
Little Megalodon.
It was actually a lot of fun. I was surprised at how not terrible it was.
Was it scary?
Um,
Was it like thriller-ish?
It was more straight up thrillers. They don't really try and go for any genuine scares. So here's a couple things that I liked about the movie a lot.
Yes.
Is that it took enough from the book that it's based upon to have a sensible enough story for a giant shark roaming the seas.
Right.
And due to that, the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie is a really nice build, in my opinion. It's a way to introduce the viewers to like, hey, we're going to be in the ocean, and then here's how... They do just enough to explain the things you want them to explain in a movie like this.
Yeah.
And it's plausible enough where you're like, okay, I'm with it. But this doesn't really spoil anything. They go down the Marianas Trench, and they discover that what they thought was the bottom is just this kind of like gas cloud that is separating another layer even deeper than what they thought was at the bottom.
Oh my god.
So the entire expedition to go down there is just to get through this cloud and see
Marianas
if there
like
is anything down there past
6
this
miles?
cloud. Yeah, roughly, I think.
The whole ocean, the deepest part is like 6 miles.
That we know of.
Give or take.
They go down there and stuff starts happening. But it's just neat how, like, you already know that it's a shark from all the advertisements and stuff, but they do take their time of, like, we're not going to just show it right off the bat. There's no first kill. There's no, like, inciting incident of, like, here's the monster. Here's what it's going to do.
Yeah, like they do in Jaws, where it's like, you never see the attack. You never see anything. It's just music.
Yeah.
And up until the point where Sheriff is on the boat. He's chumming up.
Yeah.
Least expecting moment, like broad daylight, shark just comes up.
Why
And
don't you
you're
come
like,
on down and chum some of this shit? Yeah. It's not like that kind of a moment, but they do use like light because you're down so far. Like they use light in a very kind of creative way, and it's just it's a lot better than it has any right to be. I told this to Eric. Like the movie goes out of its fucking way to point out how awesome Jason Statham is, because there are multiple times where they're talking about his character like, there's one man that can do this. There's only one guy that can save our people. And there's like a doctor that checks him out at one point, and this is a line from the movie that he says like, he's in perfect shape, in like an odd sort of voice. The only like the biggest negative of the movie, I would say,
somebody wrote that in the script,
is that the script, the dialogue is so generic. You might as well have like a punch card of like, okay, if they hit that, they hit that, they hit that. If you can even guess that a line might be in the movie, it's in there to one degree or another.
Nice.
But it's fun. And there was a point in the movie where, having read the book before, I knew it was either going to go one way or end. And I looked at the time code of like how far it was into the movie, and I was like, okay, so that means they're probably going to have to go this one way, but there's still like 45, 50 minutes of the movie left, so I'm genuinely curious. Like, I don't know where this is going to go. Let's see what happens. And then they do go that certain way, but they do it
In the movie way.
in a movie way that is like, oh, ho, ho, like a little wink and a nudge, but then it's also like, okay, that's, fair enough.
That'll do, pig.
But there are many They do a few things to play with your expectations, like you know, you're watching a movie and you're like, okay, this person's gonna die next, or this is gonna happen. They're setting this up, and then they either just like delay that for a little bit, or they just subvert that, but not in a way of like purposely subverting it, where they try to set something up just to go around it and be like, look how creative we are. It's just more of like, let's just do this.
Subverting expectations is the new like fucking nuke in the fridge kind of concept for movie people now. Like they make these big elaborate predictions for their movies, like, and a good example is like what Ryan Johnson did with The Last Jedi. He's like, I'm subverting everybody's expectations.
Yeah.
Snoke is nothing.
Yeah.
Luke is nothing. Rey is nothing. Blah blah blah. Like all this shit. It's like, what? What made this a new like trend in movies? Is subverting everybody's fucking expectations of what movies are. Just keep movies
Just
how
let 'em
people
be
predict
movies,
them.
dude.
You don't,
like,
yeah,
put
well, like,
spin on it, but don't like.
but don't have that intent behind it.
Don't go into it making it a puzzle for people to be like people are gonna think this way, but I'm gonna make them think a different way, and they're gonna have to go along with it.
It's the equivalent of
Tough titty.
the up dog joke.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's just it's too easy. It's too easy.
It's way too easy.
And you're just doing it for like, if you don't put that bait out there, there is no reaction, and without the reaction, the bait means nothing. So it's like, why do it in the first place?
You're not being original.
But the Meg is pretty fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time. It's a good like
End of summer movie.
if you don't have anything else to see, go see it, because you'll be more entertained than you probably think that you will be. This is definitely like 100% a movie made by China and for China. I don't really know. I would be curious to
China really loves Jason Statham.
No, it's just a very multicultural cast, and it all takes place in the region of China, like in that part of the sea. Like Jason Statham just so happens to be lucky enough to live in Thailand, so that when they need a rescue off the coast of China, where the like wherever the Marianas Trench is in the ocean there.
Yeah, and that's why like a lot of studios nowadays do that.
To get a big pull from the audiences. That's what they did with Matt Damon in the Great Wall movie.
Well, yeah, that's like one of the biggest markets for film is China.
Yeah.
And that shit. So it's like,
that's why Warcraft killed it in China.
yeah,
They have
and there's some stuff like some of the more recent Marvel movies will have a scene or two in China, and have a famous Chinese actor in it.
Or like Rogue One, where Donnie Yen and the guy who plays Baze.
Doesn't matter. Star Wars, they don't care about Star Wars in China.
But it was still more. It was still
we don't care
more
about
of an
Star Wars
attempt
here.
to.
Well, they never got it until like.
Oh, because they're
probably
really
the prequels.
Prequels were the first ones that they
first
had.
ones they were introduced, yeah.
And the other ones weren't released until like around then after that. So it's not a cultural thing for them. They don't give a shit about Star Wars.
There's definitely some Chinese money that went into the Meg, and with who's in the cast, there are moments where the characters just slip into speaking Chinese to each other, like back and forth. It is subtitled, but it's like there's no real reason why they should be doing this, but they do it just for that Chinese audience, and not as many deaths as you would think, or not as violent as you would think for a shark movie, or B, a giant shark movie. But there is some carnage, there is destruction, and it's it's a good time. Jason Statham is like, this movie just celebrates him, and like almost.
Can you say if we go inside the Meg?
No. It's not like my prediction. It's not like how it ends in the book. It is a very bombastic ending with like.
Is that a pun intended?
No. That's not a pun. That's not a pun at all. But I mean that like with the definition of that word. It's a very flashy, very big ending, because it's a giant shark movie. It's not going to just they're not going to do like a subtle way to kill it or like a smart way. It's going to be a bigger, flashier kind of way to kill it.
Let's send it to the moon.
Dude, I wish. That'd be great imagery.
Just like that South Park episode where Kyle like gets, like, have you seen the one where the killer whale comes up to Kyle, and there's these guys in this audio booth like just like pretending to be a whale, and they're like, hey, kid, get me out of here.
I gotta get home
I
to
gotta
the
get home."
moon.
And then Kyle's like, "What? Really?" And like it's like this big play out. Like it was around the time like Blackfish came out,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the SeaWorld documentary, and so Kyle like actually talks to China, and they build a rocket, or no, he goes to Mexico, and Mexico builds their rocket to shoot this killer whale to the moon. But they have to like persuade their teacher to like have a field trip to go to Mexico or something like that to bring the whale there.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, let's do it.
Get it going.
Get him up there. And like it ends. The most beautiful picture I want it like on my grave is just a dead killer whale on the moon. Just
The the only other thing I want to say about it is that I only noticed one Jaws reference when I was watching it. There's probably more that I just didn't pick up
Yeah,
on.
like I read an article and it was a bunch of more so like visual homages and stuff like that.
Yeah, 'cause
rather than specific like here's a blatant thing. Like it was just like this is reminiscent of this.
There
or
was
this was a clear homage to this.
yeah, there was a
That
couple
type of
things that I saw visually where I was like, that either is an homage or that is something that is just so like intrinsic to an underwater movie that it's in there because it's in
an
there.
underwater movie, so it's more probably going to borrow stuff from like Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I'm imagining the Statham character being like the Thomas Jane character in that.
Kinda. He's more analogous to like The Rock in like Skyscraper, where he's like a rescue, specialist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Jane was kind of just like, I'm just this blue collar guy that makes fences.
I'm just working here as a handyman at this shark research facility, ma'am. Don't give me no mind. Yeah.
Oh, you're saying just do what you want. I think you're doing what God's work is doing.
Is it Ryan Wilson or is it Rainn Wilson?
Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson's fun in the movie. He's like
He's the big money.
yeah, I never got like who his character was gonna be. I thought he was just gonna be like a technical kind of person on the staff who was like kind of zany. But he's like the bankroll behind this whole operation of how they're able to like do this expedition to do this research.
Mm-hmm.
He's the millionaire who's funding all of it.
So it's not about the Meg at first. It's like about exploring the trench.
Yeah, and then due to things that happen down there, the way that it happens in the book is honestly like way better of how the shark gets from down there to up here. In the movie, it kind of just happens. There were multiple times where I was like, oh, so this is the inciting incident that's going to bring it up here. But no, it's just like we go down there to the bottom of the trench a couple times, and then we don't go back down there again for the rest of the movie, and the shark just kind of like comes up.
I'm here.
Yeah, and it's not. There's no. They do a tiny little bit
So
of
the
explaining.
The shark talks.
No,
Damn it! I wanted it to be Bracho's voice. I am here.
I am here.
that would definitely cut any of the
I am here.
scariness that is in the movie because
Look out, humans. I have come to
with
eat
this
you.
giant shark being completely CGI, it definitely like takes a little bit of the bite, that was a pun, out of the scares of like the imagery because it's a very computer generated looking thing. But it's still fun.
Have you seen deep footage of like really deep down in the ocean where like
Yeah.
creepy tentacle thing just like
Yeah.
bigger than your house, just like long ass tentacles just dripping down, and
Yeah.
you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have
And
I have a
just-
moral crisis every single time I step foot in the ocean, which is not often.
And just spooky
Really?
little,
Yeah.
just spooky little things that are like with the spooky eyes and shit because they can't see, or they're adjusted to little or no light. You know,
Oh, like anglerfish,
those
Or
are one of them.
Any-
the lanternfish,
any-
There's a
anything that lives down
lot
there,
of-
yeah.
there's a lot of
any
stuff like that.
bioluminescent type of fish because they have to like do that to see things.
Yeah, there is like a couple more aspects of like things from the book that were like adaptations or like features of this animal because it lived down so deep that weren't present and that you would think like, yeah, those probably would be there, but you know, whatever. It just needs to be a shark, and that's what it is. It's just a big shark, and they don't try to do too. They do more interesting things with how these researchers try and tackle the problem rather than trying to do creative things with the shark or like how they try and use the camera with the shark or anything like that. It's more on the human side of things to be interesting, of bringing those interactions into that like equation with the shark, rather than it being like, oh, we get this really cool shot of a kayak above the water and we're like in a bird's eye view and we can see the shark coming up and just swallowing. Nothing like that. It's more of like, oh, the humans are trying to fight it in this way, and what they're doing is really cool or interesting with the tech or the like approach that they're taking with it. So it's just interesting to see it interacting with those pieces of technology that they bring in to try and tackle this problem.
Right.
That's good. I like that. Using science to, it's like Breaking Bad. You just use science to solve all your problems.
Yeah.
Speeds.
There's
Your money problems, cook meth.
they're not written well, these characters, but they are endearing.
Is there a death count?
Roughly off the top of my head, I'm gonna say at least, well, besides like any
Couple 13, 14.
mass killing type numbers that might happen from a giant shark, like specific character deaths that we get to know, I'm gonna say like between 8 and 10, somewhere around there. It's probably a couple more, but around 8 to 10, like actual characters that we know and meet, or like at least get any establishment of
Names,
yeah,
named characters, yeah. That's nice. But you're not going to see Slender Man then?
No,
The Slenderman dude?
no, I don't.
I heard that it's there's a big controversy with it. And,
Why?
Yeah, I can see why.
Well, because the HBO documentary and that actual incident that happened
Oh, yeah.
not too long ago.
Well, the HBO documentary was partially about that, I believe.
Yeah, it was definitely about those two girls that wanted to kill their friend.
They did kill. It's not even
No,
alleged.
she's not dead.
Oh yeah, they
She's
attempted.
stabbed her 19 times.
Yeah.
I can't believe she's fucking alive, man. That's
Holy shit.
I would be not a
How bad at stabbing do you have to be?
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find humor in the dark places. To
Well,
make
that's
it
what we
lighter.
gotta do. You
we're
can't
dealing with like 12-year-old, 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're around
they were
that
really
age.
young, so maybe
Very
Yeah,
impressionable
that's-
too. Very impressionable age.
Weak forearms.
Or a strong abdomen.
Well, the first thing was the instigator.
Instigator, I heard.
Made the other person do it,
Yeah,
and she just like was.
made.
She was like the Charles Manson.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just like Slender Man. made
The
them do it.
influencer,
It's
the
just like-
manipulator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Manipulator. I hardly
So-
knew it.
Exactly.
I had this random thought the other day. Let me run it past you guys.
Yeah.
What if your job was somebody hired you, and
I'll take it.
the only details of your job are that they want you to take a cab from this one point to like a metro station or a train station, and then they want you to ride that metro or that train or something back to that first point, and then take a cab back to and that's your job, is to make that transit from point A to point B,
What are my
taking the
hours?
train and the cab just like, I don't know,
The bus hours.
9 to 5, like whatever the main hours are, yeah, for
How many-
the
how many-
train or the.
So what's the distance between how many minutes or hours?
Let's say it's like 50
Okay,
miles.
run through this. What's this scenario again?
So
So
he's hired
ev-
you to do a job. All
every
you do
they're
is
gonna
take a
they're gonna
taxi
pay you
to a metro.
they're gonna pay you $30 a day, and what you do is you get out of your house, you walk down the street to a corner, you get in a cab, the cab takes you to a train station, you ride the train back to where the cab picked you up, and just do it over and over again all day.
Not for $30.
I'm out of money by the end of the day. I can't take a cab.
No, they like have it set up where you don't have to pay for a ticket for the train or for
Oh.
the cab, but it's literally just your job to make that transit, to sit in the car to go here, to sit in a train to go back here, to sit in the car to go here. They just want to pay you to sit and go
It'd
back
have to
and
be
forth.
more than $30, but I'd do it.
How much would it take for you guys to do that? I don't know why I thought of this. I just thought of it, but
Like,
Okay, yeah, you go first.
because $50 a day, that's a little generous on their part. That's
well,
why I knocked it down to 30.
how many hours? Okay, how
It's
many
a
hours?
9 to
is
Not
that?
9 to 5, let's say, just for
9 to
ease.
5?
Just for ease.
Well, I'd want
Every
it
day.
to be like if this was
5
your,
days a week, you
if
get
this was
Saturday,
your
Sunday.
job, like, I mean, at least would want a normal job's pay for it. You know what I mean?
It's $50 a day.
Yeah,
That's more really.
that's like
It's a little bit more than
Yeah, that's a little bit more than your typical
9 to 5.
9 to 5 pay.
Typical 9 to 5. That's the $50 for 8 hours or whatever it is. How many hours is that?
9.
9
Or yeah, no,
hours?
that's 8 hours from
Well,
9 to
can
5.
you take a lunch?
9 to
So-
5.
I mean, they'll like,
That's
they're
8
not
hours.
like strict,
8
like
hours.
you have to always
$50
With an hour
for
lunch.
8 hours?
With an hour lunch.
But like, if you were getting paid like, like that's fine if you're getting paid like, if you could only get paid minimum wage anywhere else.
But there's also the
Because if you make like $10 an hour,
yeah. But what if you're only able to work 3 hours that day?
so then it would make 30 that day if I only worked 3 hours. But if it was a 9 to 5 situation,
Yeah.
like I'd want to be paid at least $10 an hour.
But really, it's a really sedentary job.
This isn't
Exactly.
but this isn't a per hour thing.
It's
This
detrimental to your health.
This is a lump sum thing that like
All right, are there benefits?
yeah, why not?
It's a typical job.
Why not? And they're
get
not saying you
benefits?
have to sit. If you can be on
Benefits
that
and
train,
at least a living wage. Like you have to be able to live off it if it's your job.
that's a livable wage. 50 $50 a day.
It's not.
Yes, it
It's
is.
less than $10 an hour. You can't live anywhere full time on $10 an hour.
You can. It's not going to be comfy, but you can make that living. That's for 5 days a week.
there opportunity for
$50 a day.
raise?
That's $250 a week.
Do you get
So
raises?
that's $1,000 per month, $12,000 per year. You can live on that.
On $12,000 a year.
Huh?
That's tough.
That is kind of
That
tough.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's easy.
That's like if
And
you're
this
doing this in a city, this is like a shithole ass apartment that you're
Okay,
living in.
I will do this when I retire.
Yeah.
Well, okay. How about this? This is like
That's my retirement gift.
this is. You'll have like a place to live, like all your needs will be met of housing, food, like that general kind of stuff. They'll meet those demands for you. Where they
Oh yeah,
give you
then yeah.
apartment,
Easy
they give
peasy.
you like enough to be able to get groceries every week, and this is
Yeah.
$50 for like supplemental income.
If I had a decent like, I'm not talking super nice, and I'm not talking like shitty, like just a decent
Mhm.
1-bedroom apartment.
Mhm.
Fucking money for food and all my other shit that I need to pay for, plus a little extra so I can have some fun every once in a while. Yeah, I'd do that easy peasy.
Yeah, because I mean, theoretically, you could just be like watching shit on your phone or like playing
Yeah.
games or something
Yeah.
the whole time,
'Cause, I mean,
reading a book or like
But you need like benefits because, like I said, I mean that's kind of it's detrimental to your health because you're sitting all day.
yeah.
You know, I mean there's a lot of jobs you sit all day,
It depends on how.
but you have to get.
I
But
mean, you're doing periodic sitting,
Standing, some walking,
walking,
and there's
then
nothing to
doing
say
the
that you
process
can't
over.
like if you have.
I mean, like
room on
just
that
like
train-
just like anything, like any office job, people sit all day. I mean, you can still
That's
obviously
an office
work
job.
out
This
and
is
shit.
this is more labor intensive because you're like, it's a travel thing.
Is
And
it
usually
though?
at jobs
just-
you get
you
a certain
sit-
amount for travel.
You
like,
walk,
but you're
you
still
sit,
but you're still gonna be
you walk, you sit.
you
but
get out of
all
the cab,
day.
you have to go through the train station.
But
you
like a
you
lot
gotta,
of
like,
offices,
wait on the
you
platform.
walk around at the office.
Yeah, so it's probably equivalent to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, so it's
And
probably
who's-
just like an office job.
Who's to say that if you don't like if you have physical room on the train, who's to say you can't like be running in place or do some jumping jack? You know,
But the
you know,
risk,
something like
the
that.
risk is higher. You could say.
Or if you're
for
taking a
car
like a
accidents.
train or something, you can pace the.
Yeah, you can
car
probably
and
like
shit.
because they're not telling you to just like
Yeah.
plant your ass in that chair.
Right.
Is it the same
What
taxi
other
every
kind
time?
of what other kind of what?
Is it the same taxi every time?
That's
No.
impossible.
It could be.
If you're in
Like-
a small town.
They can have somebody on staff. Like there's 10 other people just like you who are making the transit from different point A's
Do we know why?
to point B's. You're not paid to ask questions. You're paid to ride that train.
See, now I'm just more curious about like if they're testing something.
What's going on behind the work?
Testing
If the
something.
taxi company is testing something like self-driving taxis or something.
Or if it's just simply that like the company like maybe owns both the taxi and the train company and they just want to bolster their numbers so it looks like they're popular.
Yeah, like if they like can get away with paying somebody to do almost nothing, they will. just because they can, and like if it benefits him like in any way. What other like menial kind of jobs would you like? So how about this? What if your job was again 9 to 5? We're not talking. We're not even going to go into wage, but like I'm just trying to dive into menial as tasks that people might do for a living.
Making sure, watching Netflix all day to make sure it functions correctly.
Like what? Like caption timing. And,
Caption timing.
If it plays on different
It
devices.
doesn't hit any like snags, you know, and like make sure there's no like bugs.
For some reason, I can't find this movie when I search on mobile.
Just
but I
being
can find it on desktop.
No,
Just being QA.
or
Dude,
like
that'd be great.
or doing that, watching video for like your ISP to make sure that the internet's running fine and shit, and it's not fucking up streaming at all.
Give a call into headquarters. Be like,
Yeah.
all right, guys, I'm headed out to Aberdeen. I'm gonna watch Infinity War. I'll
Yeah.
let you know.
I got
I'll tell you where the
we're
drop-off
having
is.
trouble
Yeah.
playing this title right now. Pop up about twice. So I don't know what's going on here. Man,
Yeah, I was watching Aliens, but now I think I'm gonna switch over to Orange Is the New Black. So just letting you guys know.
Frasier has disappeared.
Oh shit.
I think I may have watched it too many times.
Is that possible?
Frasier has disappeared.
I have exhausted
Code
Frasier.
Code Red.
Code
we are
Red.
on DEFCON 1.
If I cannot watch this show at least one time a year, I will blow up the internet.
What's Maris?
Yeah, Niles is
Code? No, I'm trying to think of like a Code Maris or like
Code Bears.
We have a situation Maris.
Yeah.
It's Maris, yeah.
Maris.
Code Maris.
Maris.
Code Lilith.
abruptly. Maris ascending.
Yeah.
Maris ascending.
We've got a Maris ascending on our hands.
Maris incoming.
Maris incoming.
Lilith has landed. That's a great.
It's okay, Daphne fixed everything.
It's such a. Maris was such a great character too, because you never ever saw her. So they quickly realized, like after like numerous episodes, like because they thought about it, but it was like the way we've described her, it's literally impossible to cast anybody.
We can't. Yeah, it's like we can't meet our own like standards
Yeah.
because we've like created
So
such a
having her
perfect
as
image in
this-
our head that if
yeah.
we cast anybody, it'll ruin what we've done.
They could do that thing like they did with some characters like George's boss in Seinfeld, where
Yeah.
it's just a shadow behind a chair.
Or it's like just the silhouette from behind.
Yeah.
But I loved it because even in Frasier, like we go to Niles and Maris's house,
Yeah.
and she's just not there every time we're there,
Yeah.
and it's perfect because it feels empty. It feels like Niles is living
Or
there
if,
alone.
or
and
if
he's
she
made
is
Maris
somewhere,
up.
if she is somewhere they are, she's like across the room, and they're like, "Oh shit, is that Maris?" My favorite was there was a while where Niles had I think it was like a whippet or like a long boy, and they're just like they made the realizations like dog's just like Maris. They just like he doesn't see it. I was like, and Frasier's like, don't you see it's just like Maris? It's like, what are you talking? It's cold, demanding, like all this stuff is like. I don't see it. It's like, remember that pillbox hat she used to wear all the time? I was like, yeah, and he took one of those little bowls that you like make little
Patchouli.
like
Ramekin bowl.
yeah, ramekin. It was a ramekin, and put it on its head like a pillbox hat, and he's like.
I said the word ramekin at work, and nobody knew what I was talking about.
I only know because I just
Fucking
watched an
millennials.
episode of Frasier where
You don't own ramekins?
I do.
You don't make
I do.
yourself some flambe shit and some.
You don't put
creme brulee?
your condiments in a ramekin for dipping.
there's an episode of
I do.
Frasier
Salsa?
where
Fucking yeah.
it started with another just like tremendous failure of a dinner party for Niles and Frasier, and they're like, well, we want to do one for this like a farewell dinner party for this painting by this famous painter that we're going to give to charity or whatever, and they were originally going to do it, but then Daphne wanted to like, well, why don't we do it, instead of just you and your brother, let's me and you do it, be the first one's us or whatever, and Frasier's all wounded by it and shit, that he's not being able to throw it with him, so he's like, well, I'm not gonna come, like. But anyway, eventually, like Daphne ends up fucking up the food and shit, and so she ends up calling Frasier to come help, And of course, he's got like the exact food that they need, like on standby. He's like,
Yep.
"Yes, I knew I'd be needed," and goes over to help. And he asks for some ramekins, and he finds some. He's just like, "Oh no, this is a problem. Like, all of them except one are the same color. It'd be one thing if you had like every other one was different colors. That works, but one that's a different color, no, that doesn't work." So that's where I learned the word ramekin.
We can't not use it because we can't be short one ramekin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of.
And it's kind of like, it's like, yeah. So then he calls his dad to get the...
Rest in peace.
Yep. R.I.P. Marty Crane.
We all just threw fingers of some shape into the air for
Yep.
that rip.
All respectable fingers.
Respectable fingers.
Yes, respectable fingers.
To find it, and he's just like... Fraser's describing exactly where it is, and he's just like, no, like, that's not... I couldn't describe it to you any plainer. He gets there, he's just like... Marty gets there, he's like, why didn't you just say the nut bowls? Like, I would have been able to find it real
The
quick.
nut.
That's exactly what you use them for, too.
Yeah.
I use them for salsa, nut, hummus, peanut butter and jelly pretzel mix.
Ooh.
You just mix peanut butter and jelly together and you put some pretzels in.
Mm. Scrumdiddles.
That sounds good.
It's really
I dunked Ritz crackers in jelly the other night.
good. Wow.
I don't know.
Sounds like you had a sad night.
I just call that a night. I don't know what you want from me.
Now I'm just picturing you like just sitting, just
Ritz and jelly.
slowly dipping things.
I was sitting
My
here
Ritz and jelly.
dipping. What was that? I was watching something. Yeah.
Did some crumbs fall off your chin and you're like, and you just kind of like sit there with
No,
crumbs on your
it
shirt.
was more of I wondered why there were red streaks on certain things and why my hand was all sticking. I was like, wait, when did I get jelly on my hand?
typical.
It just snuck on there. I
When
don't
did I
know.
get jelly in my hand?
Yeah, it was on the
Probably when I
side
was
of my
eating
knuckle
jelly.
that I wasn't even using. It was the hand that I wasn't
Oh
even
no,
dipping
dude!
with,
The
and I was
the magical food appears like
What the
nowhere
fuck?
near where it should be. It's like
Exactly.
I came home from work one day,
Yeah.
and I didn't notice it until the next day that I had a piece of dough that was stuck to my hair on the back of my arm right here.
So I would be freaked out. I'd be like, fucking cancer. I'd be like, nope, just dough.
What? Nope. it's just dough.
And then eat it, old dough with your hair in it, like,
Just dough. I mean, I'm living alone, so yeah, I'd do that. If I'm you, I'd just be like, fuck yeah, dough.
oh, free meal.
Just do it.
Fuck,
It's a little
that's
yeasty.
sad.
Got some of my Wilson sweat on it.
It's salty.
Salty.
Today, somebody came in and they're like, last time that we were here, our pizza was sour.
Those are special sour pizza.
Yeah,
Did you get the sourdough?
You're welcome.
At first, well, they were.
Suck it.
The person who was saying it was Asian and had a strong accent. So at first, I thought
Yeah.
they were saying it was salty.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, they could have been these toppings, or you could have just put,
You got the pretzel crust?
or you just asked us to put the salt on your pizza, and maybe this time don't ask us to put the salt on your pizza. They're like, no. I said sour. I was like, well, I literally have no answers because I don't know what would make your food sour. So there you go.
I bet it's your taste buds
I
going
bet-
through flex or something.
I bet it was
I
just
bet
that
you have
moment.
acid reflux, and that is why.
I have no answers. It's not going to be any sausage.
Makes
What
you
were they looking
taste
for? They
sour.
looking for a refill?
I don't know. They were just like, it was sour. I'm like, I don't
no
know.
sour pizza.
Cool.
This
I
time.
don't know
Shit.
what would have made it sour.
We
but-
have this comment box. You can just put it in there.
Yeah.
We'll put.
Oh yeah, we squeezed a whole shit ton of lemons on top.
Yeah,
of
they
it.
had to.
Forgot. Yeah, you're the one with a bunch of lemons, right? You wanted lemons all over your pizza.
Mr. and Mrs. Lemon.
You're back again. You guys want limes this time?
You know what I do when I'm extremely bored at work and have nothing better to do?
Twiddle your fingers.
No.
Put the dough on your face, cut out eye holes and mouth holes, and walk around with leather face and be like,
I'm the dough.
I did that at Spicy Pie.
oh.
I am the Doman.
I sing little songs to myself, but I replace the words with Blaze Pizza. So I'll be like, hey, ho, Blaze Pizza. Hey, ho, Blaze Pizza. They're cooking all the pizzas. They're putting on the toppings. Just like...
That's where we're going to end this
Pop
one.
it in the oven.
Yeah.
Blaze pizza.
Yep. I'll just sing entire songs and replace all the words with pizza-related...
Well, now you got to do that when I come in next.
No.
Yeah.
You've never been there once.
No, you got to be there when I come in For my first time, I'm gonna have it be that experience.
That's on you.
No, I'm gonna.
I can't promise anything.
Heard
No,
you
it's
guys
on
do
you.
music, but you change the lyrics to Blaze Pizza. Can
I
you
sing
do
it to
that?
myself under my breath. Nobody knows that I'm doing it.
Aw.
They do now.
Shorty get Blaze Pizza.
You big old wet on Blaze Pizza.
Blaze Pizza, Blaze Pizza, Blaze Pizza.
Sun do shine,
Blaze Pizza, Blaze Pizza.
All right.
Cook them sauce, you better cook.